yesterday I went digging through my closet. I was kind of reorganizing things, and I found this box. And when I opened this box, I remembered that I put all my stuff in there, like a bunch of stuff that I just didn't have space for at the time. And so I found a bunch of my PlayStation Vita games. I found a charger for my PSP, and I found a bunch of my PC games retail discs, actually. And one of those games was Max Payne 3. And it just brought back so many great memories about this game and how incredible it was, and it just how advanced it was for its time. I mean, this is one of those games that for me just defied expectations. Not only did we get, a great story and really a kind of a conclusion to the Max Payne storyline, but it advanced the third person shooter genre, and it stayed true to the series' roots while doing it, at the same time being a truly difficult game that was very accessible. And it really got me thinking about this current generation that we're in as a whole. And it's amazing to me. We have such an emphasis on visual style these days. Everything has to look hyper realistic. It's all about the great lighting effects. It's all about the density. But there's with all that push for higher graphical fidelity and higher res textures and more believable environments, just bigger, larger, everything. There seems to be a loss and a misfocus on the core of what makes gaming great and what makes that world believable. And that is simulation. Games are here to simulate. And I feel like the games that we've been getting for the past couple years, and even I want to say since the beginning of this generation, have been very bare bones experiences of what we got with the last generation, with just some extra polish and shine on top to make it more pleasing to the eye. And when I put this game in, it was just like, it was incredible. The amount of detail, the amount of care that was put in, and everything that was put in just for the fact of simulation to make you believe that this world actually exists. I mean, you guys are watching this cutscene right now. Just take a look at Max Payne right now. I mean, his whole suit is creased to hell because he doesn't hang his clothes. And it's such a little thing, but normally when I played this game the first time, it was just something that just passed by me. But these days I noticed that detail. You can see Rodrigo Branco's suit right now. It's beautifully pressed. He obviously takes care of himself. And as it switches over to Max Payne, you can see these little creases and everything like that. It just looks rugged. And it's the little details like that. And you're going to see, when we transition into gameplay here in a second, just the animations at work, the way the characters move. When you're shooting someone, you feel the impact. It's not just, oh, he dies. I mean, each character has these very unique animations, and this is all just thanks to the technology that was put in and the care that was put in to make this world feel believable. And just everything about this game just screams quality. It screams a high focus on making sure that you are grounded in the reality that you're in. And that's just what really impressed me from playing this game again. We don't have games like this anymore. We don't have games that put a strong emphasis on building out the world, not just through a narrative, but through actual simulation aesthetics, things like the animations, things like, civilians doing things on your own. And I kind of touched upon this topic when I did my infamous Watch Dogs graphics video. But Watch Dogs is a super popular one I did. And in that video, everyone was talking about how shitty the graphics downgrade was. And it was a downgrade. And it looked substantially worse when the game came out. But I wanted people to focus on in that video was all the things that were going on in that world and how none of that was downgraded. You know, we looked at in that game, Aiden Pierce walking down the street, and you've seen civilians having unique conversations and doing things that are very realistic, like stopping midway and just looking for like their car in a parking lot, you know, things like that. And we don't have that focus anymore. You know, it's all about let's make this game prettier. Let's increase the graphical fidelity. Let's make the worlds larger, and that's great. You know, I'm definitely all for that. But we've lost so much in the process of what it takes to make you feel like you're a part of whatever's going on. You know, this is a very linear game. Max Payne's a very linear game. There's very linear levels. You really have no room to explore, and you just kind of, you know, go through the levels, and it bases its challenge off of your ability to hit your targets before they can basically put you down. And that's great. You know, it really allows you to focus in on what's important. But what it also does is it allows Rockstar here to put such an incredible amount of detail in their game. And, you know, this is still, I have to say, one of the best handling third-person shooters out there. I mean, there's still games to this day that don't come close. And the most hilarious part about this game is that it's 7 years old as of now. I think 2011 is when it came out, so that would make it 7 years old. And it's still doing things that games today struggle to do. And, you know, that... I'm very just when you see it in this perspective, you're so disappointed with everything that you've played, you know. And there's a few, I mean, I have to say, there's a handful of games only this generation that really sort of pushed the boundaries, in my opinion, on what it meant to take advantage of like this technology, that really gave me this next gen feeling, a feeling that, hey, this wasn't just a prettier version of what I got before. This is actually a brand new experience. There's only a handful of games that I can really think of that really just, you know, made me feel like that. And I just think back of all the innovation that was part of last generation, you know, things like games like BioShock, for example, you know, Mirror's Edge, Portal, all these games, you know, that just like push the boundaries in terms of new experiences that weren't possible before, and games that took the time to build their world, games that took the time to create a simulation effect, you know. I mean, look at the way Max Payne moves right here. I mean, everything's connected. The way he thumps on the ground when he hits it really hard, and how you can keep rolling, and that he doesn't stay in one place. He actually moves throughout the environment in a super realistic manner. You know, how when you'll see me a few times diving towards a wall, he'll actually move his head so he doesn't hit his freaking forehead on a post or whatever. You know, things like that. I mean, this is all stuff that they put in the marketing of this game, and we're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. This game looks super realistic. And then you realize, oh my God, we don't have any of that anymore. You know, when's the last time a game really made you like just super baffled at the technology? I'm not talking about visual aesthetics. I'm talking about everything that's going on screen. Like, damn, this is something I've never experienced before. The amount of complexity and detail, you know. And I know there's great games that have come out this year and you know, last year, and just this whole generation. These are great games, you know, that have come out, but most of them, to be honest, are really just the more pretty experience of what we got with our PS3s and our Xbox 360s. And it's just, it's scary to me, because I feel like we're losing this level of innovation, you know, that this is what made a next generation console. Yes, there was a visual upgrade, but it was about all the stuff that they can do to place you in that world. And it wasn't about, you know, hey, we're just gonna put some nice shine and polish on the textures, and then put some nice lighting effects in there. Oh, by the way, we have HDR now, so it looks a lot better. This is all great, but it doesn't scream like when I play games. I'm not like, oh my god, this is something that's completely brand new anymore. In fact, I see a lot of games that borrow from others in the past. We're just gonna borrow from other games that have come out, and some of them do it better than others, some of them do it a lot worse than others, but it's just a lot of hand holding, a lot of borrowing. It was recently announced, the Call of Duty Black Ops 4, when they're doing away with the campaign, now it's battle royale stuff. I mean, what's so impressive about that? What for, even if you're excited for the game and you cannot wait for Call of Duty Black Ops 4, what is so groundbreaking about what they're doing in Black Ops 4 that it just has you excited on that level? Not excited on the level to play the game because you're a fan, but excited for the tech that's being involved. And I get it. Some people don't care about that stuff, and some people are just playing games for the fact of enjoyment and just wasting time. And that's perfectly fine if that's who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. But games used to push boundaries. We used to have really unique and innovative experiences. Games that defied our expectations and gave us something that was unique and special and stuck with us for the remainder of our time. There's a lot of games I look back and I remember them very clearly. I remember playing Portal 2, and I'm just like, I haven't had a game that's given me an experience like Portal 2 before, still to this day. I remember playing, the original BioShock. I mean, they remastered that game on the PS4 and Xbox One and didn't even do anything. They upgraded it to 1080p for console users, and they made it 60 frames per second for console users. But they fucked up the audio. So it's like when you have games, even like remasters that are coming out, that are just putting some nice shine on there. I mean, it really goes to show that, unless it's a full-blown remake where they're actually taking huge advantage of the hardware and they're making significant changes, it's really just like, yeah, I remember this was fun. And so we have a generation here that doesn't really have an identity, and that's really, I think that's the perfect summarization, is that we have a generation here that we're in right now that doesn't have an identity. Its identity is full of really super pretty versions of the same series that we were introduced to in the last generation of consoles, and just very bare bones experience that don't take advantage of the extra abilities to create something memorable, but rather just advantage of the graphical horsepower to make it very, very pleasing and, I guess, beautiful to look at. So, I mean, this is just food for thought at this point. I just wanted to create a video on this topic. Max Payne 3, this is a great game. If you've never played this game, damn, are you missing out. This game is challenging. It's got a great story. I had the pleasure of actually being able to go back and play the first and second Max Payne, which actually, for their time, aged pretty well. And no, I'm a really big fan of this game in particular. I think it's fantastic, and just the amount of details and everything that Rockstar put in, I mean, it's just incredible. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, do you feel the same way? Do you feel that we've lost a lot of our focus on simulation and instead just like to paint this pretty picture of really beautiful scenery, that really looks good on our TVs? I really think that we have, but let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you watching as always, and you all have a fantastic day. Thanks.